Hello, my name is Shayna Van. Overview, we're going to cover Mary Parker Follette, Max Weber, also known as Max Weber, Leonard White, and Frederick Taylor. First start with Mary Parker Follette, since she included a human component that differentiates the others. Pulling from the readings, Classics of Public Administration, and also the PowerPoint presentations in class. Cover the Giving of Orders 1926. One of the interesting things that was noted was on page 62 in responsible attitude toward experience involves recognizing the evolving situation. A conscious attitude toward experience means that we note the change which the developing situation makes in ourselves. The situation does not change without changing us. In other words, her theory is simple. It focused on human interaction and relationships. And these concepts are applied today. Teamwork, community, conflict resolution. I had a recent experience with the nonprofit that I lead where some volunteers were uncomfortable, and we had to follow up and debrief after a main event to ensure that they felt supported. They gave us some negative feedback, but I saw that as opportunities. You have to recognize that as experiences, as she's mentioned, in order to be able to grow from that. So Mary Parker Fuller, she laid the groundwork for modern leadership, and I really like reading about her work, and I will look into mimicking a lot of her concepts and introducing those into my own nonprofit. On to Max Weber, bureaucracy. One of his main areas he noticed an issue was in the means of authority. When society started moving from small to larger operations and seeing the conflicts of large amounts of people and the challenges that arose in the authority area. No matter the goal of an organization, they display, some of these features that Weber talks about, having a clear organization structure and having that hierarchy and legal rational authority and how it sits with the position and not the person, and just having clear rules about decision making, having explicit rules and processes that align not just with the organization internal, but as a society as a whole. There are 6 characteristics of bureaucracy that's found starting on page 43 that I'll cover a few, starting with the division of labor and specialization. That is very important in some aspects to increasing, efficiency, but it can cause, conflict in the sense that it may make someone feel alienated from the others. And so I've seen this as in recent projects where I assigned and delegated certain tasks to people where they worked alone as opposed to others who I assigned as a team, all to come together for one big event. But the ones that worked alone didn't feel as supported, even though their function was specific to their talent and skill. Moving quickly on with Leonard D. White, Introduction to the Study of Public Administration on page 50. The object of public administration is the most efficient utilization of the resources at the disposal of officials and employees. I take that as being good stewards of the resources that are entrusted to us, whether that's finances with the budget, whether that's resources with volunteers and their time. We want to be as efficient and proficient when it comes to managing, which according to White is an element essential to success. Further on page 51, public administration is then the execution of public business, the goal of administrative activity, the most expeditious, economical, and complete achievement of public programs. Reminding us again the current concepts of being balanced in cultural environment and the political aspect. Frederick Taylor, scientific management. And his theory had a lot to do with managing change, being able to improvise more efficient labor productivity and workflow. He studied, the best way to break down the job down to movements and weights of items like shovels, all this to analyze the data and reduce cost and improve, the efficiency of the workforce. More like these principles found within the scientific management as being a micromanagement by the book type style that managers have to enforce, more control, tell people how to do it, not really allowing them to think for themselves and be innovated. So it works well for assembly line type environments, I suppose. In closing, on page 38, scientific management can be justly and truthfully characterized as management in which harmony is rule rather than discord. Really solidifying that Taylor emphasized that there should be complete harmony between, management and workers with no conflict for the benefit of both. And let us close with Matthew 5:13 through 16, reminding us of the salt and the light